I can't even give you a hint because I don't know what it is.
Great.
Okay, I'll give you a hint.
Okay.
It's the sound you hear. Okay, the name of it
Oh, charades. Okay.
is the sound you hear when someone comes to your door.
Oh, it's a knock sensor.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
my guy. Welcome back to In the Aisles, presented by O'Reilly Auto Parts. I am your unreliable host, Derek Bieri from Vice Grip Garage on YouTube. We are at the Iola Car Show in the headquarters. We actually broke into a conference room, I believe. But anyway, I have a very special guest here today. You know him and love him. We're going to dig into it, learn a little bit more about him. Sung Kang is here. Thanks for joining us, dude. I appreciate
Thanks, Derek. It's a pleasure to be here.
it. Yeah. Is this your first time at the show?
It is, yeah. It's actually my first time in Wisconsin.
Wisconsin as a whole?
Yeah.
Okay. Have you had cheese curds? I have.
Oh, yeah, every day.
Did they squeak?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is the sign of a true Wisconsin cheese curd, is they have to squeak.
Yeah.
All right. You like them?
You know, I had these olives with cheese. Have you
Yeah,
had those?
stuffed olives?
That I love.
Yeah.
The curd is, you know,
A little much? A little
yeah,
rich?
I mean, it's nice to have, like, once when you come here.
Every now and then?
Yeah.
Yeah. So obviously everyone knows and loves you from the Fast and the Furious stuff, but we want to get to know a little bit more about you, myself and the fans, and we're going to kind of just ask some basic questions to get through here. And we're going to be quick because we're both busy. You've got a huge line already forming. Fans want to meet you here at Iola. You're doing a meet and greet, signings and all that
I
stuff?
am, yeah.
That's awesome. So I got to ask, where were you born? Where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Georgia.
Georgia,
So I'm a
okay.
Georgia boy. I lived in Atlanta when I was really young, and then right before high school, we started. 8th grade, I moved up to Gainesville, Georgia.
Okay,
so
yeah.
it looks a lot like Iola. It's like it's by the lakes and stuff.
It does actually. Water, trees, little
Yeah.
rolling hills. Yeah.
Poultry capital of America. You know,
Okay. All right. I didn't know that.
Real small town. A lot of good people up there. So yeah, it was just just like small town American upbringing. You know.
All right. Well, I'm kind of into the muscle car genre, and I'll tell you, down in your area is a mother load of classic cars. They're all hidden in the hollers and tree rows and swamps, and there's some really good finds down in that area. Obviously, you're kind of more into some of the JDM stuff. Is that right? I mean,
As I got older, after my involvement in Tokyo Drift is really where I started to appreciate and understand this love affair for JDM. Growing up in Georgia, it was just American Iron. It was,
Yeah.
Chevy, Fords, to this day, my dream car is the 68 Fastback from Bullitt, right? So,
oh, nice. Yeah.
that
Good
is
choice.
the last car I'll get before I leave this earth. And,
Okay. Nice.
I don't want to get it because a man needs his dream. Once you get it, the dream's over, right? But
Well, you
yeah.
could always make it faster. You know?
Yeah. But I like to
that.
kick tires. I like to go around and meet the owners and get to learn about these cars. But yeah, so after Tokyo Drift, essentially, I've been given this garage clicker to everyone's garage, and a lot of the fans are happen to be JDM folks. So
Right.
and LA, where I live now, is very, I guess, I'd consider it more JDM centric,
Right.
at least Orange
Yeah.
County and LA.
Yeah.
So just by default, I've learned to really appreciate it. But I still, if I were to say, like, what is the car that I am really attached to, it would be a Datsun 240Z, which is a Japanese car, but it's still very American.
It does have some American design and influence. I would agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think that, around the same time you said you were kind of influenced, I think the world was. It really was an eye-opening to, I mean, even for me, I never really had any sort of insight to what these cars can do, what they look like, how quick they are, the styling, all of that. And all of a sudden the world was just taken over by kind of this movement of, it doesn't have to be American muscle. It can be this, that, or the other. You mentioned some cars. I've got a photograph here. You have a big collection here, my friend. I know the GNX, obviously, but walk me through.
It's actually, I wish I had a GNX. That's just the Grand National.
Grand National?
Just the Grand National.
What year? I can see the
87.
grill. 87. I have an
yeah.
87 too, man.
You do?
Same car, yeah.
It's a beautiful car, huh?
It is, yeah.
Yeah, you want to hear the story of this car?
Let's do it. Yeah.
All right. So, remember that commercial Bad to the Bone when they were promoting the Grand National?
Oh, 100%,
right?
of course. Yeah.
I, at that time, didn't really understand, what that car represented to the generation that could afford it. But I knew it was cool.
Mm-hmm.
I knew, my mom's Cutlass was still the G body, but this was the cool version, right?
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so it was always on my bucket list of like, one day I'm gonna, get a Grand National. I'm gonna learn about this car. And so I'm looking through Facebook Marketplace and OfferUp, and I find this really mint Grand National in Los Angeles, and the price was insane. I was like, this has to be a salvage title because it's just way too low.
Right, something wrong or something.
Yeah, it's like something wrong. So I called the number, and Mike, the owner, he answers, and I said, excuse me, sir, is your car for sale? And he's like, it's not for sale. Like, oh, well, why is it posted? He's like, I'm actually interviewing caretakers of this car because you see the price. You'll never see a car for this in this condition.
Oh, wow,
for the price.
okay.
I was like, oh, I like your style. And I was like, well, and he explained, he's like, I was a Buick mechanic in the 80s, so, I've taken care of this car my whole life. My first date with my current wife was in this car, and it's been garaged for I think he said the past 12 years. And he's like, it's not molested at all. It's all
stock,
factory.
original, yeah.
The seats were covered with the old,
Oh my goodness!
sheepskin, right?
Wow, yeah.
And so I go, can I come and visit you? So I go and see him. And it's cool because he has no idea, like, I'm, some character from this movie, right? And it's just this old curmudgeon, like, retired, like, mechanic. And he happened to also be, head mechanic later for the GTRs at Nissan, right? And I was like, wow, he knows, American Iron, and he also loves JDM. And I was like, Mike, why are you selling this? Why are you looking for a caretaker? And he said, my son has autism, and the only way we connect is going off-roading, and I want to buy this off-road vehicle, but I need money, so I'm looking for a caretaker. So, what are you going to do with this? Are you going to, swap the turbos out and make this into like a drag
Right,
strip?
chop it up
Yeah,
or whatever.
No. I said, I want to use this car personally for myself to learn why, what this car looked like out of factory. And also, I want to be able to share this with other younger generations that know nothing about it. But if it's all modified, it's not, it's not what it was designed for.
Yep.
And when you look at the history, like first turbo car, the engineer that designed it, the ethos is so beautiful because I don't know if you know the story. He was like a Boy Scout leader.
Yes.
Yeah, and he,
yeah.
and he was trying to, teach kids about turbo, and he took them to the Buick, I guess, factory, and then he put a turbo on some, G-body motor, and then Buick was like, oh, we need to produce that, right?
Yeah.
So
the last hurrah, we need to do something really cool. Yeah.
And so I was like, the spirit of this car is beautiful. I go, I must be a caretaker. So we shook hands. I said, I'm just going to restore it from bottom up. I promise you, I'll use as many OEM parts. And I happen to have a friend who's a Grand National GNX like guru. Like that's all he does. He only works on that stuff. So I was like, I have the perfect guy, young guy, so passionate about this, and we can actually restore this car, and then we can use it as a teaching vehicle. And so I said, once I'm done, I'll bring the car back to you, and then we can go for a drive. You can drive it, and if you want it back, I'll sell it to you for what I paid for, because you really love this car. And so we shook hands, and then I brought my nephew in. He was staying with me. He helped me restore it, whatever he could do. It was just beautiful what this car represented. And then we took the car back to Mike, and Mike was like really happy with what we did.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he didn't buy it, so I still have it.
Yeah. Man, we are birds of a feather. I mean, honestly, hearing you, obviously you're very passionate about the story and the history of the vehicle. You remember the person's name you bought it from and everything like that. I am more attached to my vehicles because of the people and the history and the stories sometimes more than the car itself.
Same.
And I hang on to these things because I can relay the story of, after the war, he came back and he second mortgaged his house and he bought this and he did that. And they had, the first child, they took him to the hospital and this. And those are the things that I'm really attracted to. And it's cool that, you really care about that and your passion. You're not just buying a car. No. It's the history and the vehicle itself. So you restored it. You didn't buy it all shiny and nice. You actually.
Yeah, I mean, it was in great condition, right? But, a lot of stuff was leaking, all this, because it was sitting for 12 years. Yeah. The seals, and then, the fiberglass bumpers, we had to, get some replacements.
The fillers always break.
Yeah. But there's a great community. That's what I love about these cars, is like once you find the car that you're passionate about, then you're looking for support, like parts and stuff. Even if, factory's not making them anymore, there's always a community.
Yeah.
And they're just amazing people too, right? So,
100%. Yeah. Well, now you know another guy. If you need Grand National parts, let me know.
Thanks, sir.
I've got a bunch. For sure.
Thank you.
So I've got to ask one of the more difficult questions. What is your favorite aisle at O'Reilly Auto Parts?
What is my favorite aisle?
This is always met with a sigh.
Yeah.
Car guys were like, man, they're all good.
I don't know if people are going to like this answer, but I like to go to, I call it the wife's aisle.
The wife's aisle?
Yeah. Like if I take my wife, I go, what would you buy in here? And she goes to the aisle where there's the steering wheel covers that are like massage, like steering wheel.
Aisle 2, of course. Yeah.
Little trinkets, little air fresheners.
Floor mats, steering wheel covers,
Yeah.
License plate covers, all the, I wander through there too.
Yeah, like, stick on, diffusers or whatever, like little aero parts and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, this is not, it's going to make the car kind of look goofy, but I actually, I really love that. Right?
Yeah, no, that's great. That's a great answer.
Yeah.
I think, obviously I shouldn't say obviously, but they have some sort of design to this where the 1 and 2, they try to bring you in with all the shiny, good stuff and trinkets and whatnot. So I get it. I frequent that aisle too, because I got to get my little trees and my Bluetooth chargers or whatever they are. USB? Is that what it is?
USB chargers. Yeah. What else do they have? Like phone holders and stuff.
Phone holders, cup holders, floor mats, the Harley Davidson stickers. Yeah, they got it all for sure. Okay, so do you wrench on your cars? Do you get out there and do some stuff on them? I know you're super busy, and that's why I'm asking are you so busy now to the point where you can't?
No. I'll never do a build if I can't be there.
Oh, I love that.
But I'll also never claim that I'm a mechanic. No. I'm a student, I'm an enthusiast. Unfortunately, I have a lot of friends that are, they're masters of their craft. Like I do not know how to rebuild a transmission. But I'll assist, I'll learn.
I love that, yeah.
I do not know how to take a twin cam motor apart and rebuild the whole thing from bottom, but I want to be there, right? Right?
That's one too many camshafts.
Yeah. I want to be there, right?
Yeah, no, I love that. And I'm the same way. It's like I like to be around my elders because they don't speak a lot, but when they do, you want to listen because they've been there, they've done it, they've got shortcuts, tips, tricks, all that stuff. And I get told a lot I'm an old soul. I used to hang out in a coffee shop when I was a real young boy with my grandfather. So I'd hear all these stories and everything. And that's how I grew up, was like, just listen and observe and don't try to know it all or do it all, but involve people in your life that have the knowledge and everything like that, So that's really cool. So when you're wrenching, when you're helping, or you're being a student, do you listen to music? Do you jam out? Do you rock out to some stuff?
Yeah. It's usually, I let the master or the teacher kind of pick the tune. So
set the vibe.
But if it's up to me, it's always, some just chill jazz or lo-fi. It has to be just mellow. You know what I mean? I can't do like rap and and heavy metal stuff. I need it to just be super chill.
Yeah. Same, man. Yeah. Same. I just looked at Chad Shannon. When we're wrenching, it's like a chill, smoky jazz vibe, or like a bluegrass, or like a slow southern rock.
That's right.
Just kind of.
Yeah.
taking our time, doing our thing. That's cool, man. Do you have any beverages when you drink? What's your go-to? You caffeinate or do you decaffeinate?
We have a tea shop around the corner where our garage is, where I hang out the most. And it's like Chinese tea, boba stuff. So
I've always wanted to try this. I've heard a lot about it.
Yeah, it's fun. It's like, it might be an acquired taste. It's like tapioca, like tea.
Oh, I would love that, actually.
Yeah, so milk tea. So they have all different types of tea, jasmine, green tea, all that stuff. But then they put that tapioca stuff in there.
Is any of it caffeinated?
Oh, it's super caffeinated. Yeah, it's like a Monster energy drink hidden in this like cute little teacup, Yeah.
Man, I'm going to have to really put this on my bucket list. For sure. So how did you get into cars? So you're born in Georgia, and actually you just schooled me before we turned all these cameras on. And I kind of knew it, but didn't. Nissan headquarters is in Nashville, which is where I'm from. But anyway, how did you get into cars? Is there any sort of memory or date and time or anything where you're like, this is something that I need to pursue as a hobby, and I want to be an enthusiast of, the automobile? What kind of core memory do you have where you're like, this was the moment?
I would say when I was... I think I was like 11 or 12. My home life was, it was tough, right? And I would wander around the neighborhood, and there was an old man. He was a retired Korean War vet, and he and his wife never had kids. And I would hear Beach Boys, blasting from this garage, and I would just like walk by this house, and there's this man that gray hair. It kind of looked like the Fonz with pomade in his hair, and he had his like camel unfiltered, it's like rolled up here. Yeah, he was always wrenching on his '63 SS Impala convertible, and finally he just like called me in. Never asked questions. He's from that school. It's like it's none of my business, but he and his wife would let me hang out there and eat some cookies, and I would sit in the corner and just watch him, in love with this car and restoring it. And he let me ask him all these stupid questions, but he also taught me all these life lessons that later I could use, like...
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's not, just the outside that matters. You can tell a lot about the person, about how they take care of the wiring, like what's in their glove box, how, take care of the body work. You can cover things with Bondo, but eventually all that stuff is going to come up, but right? Yeah. And, as a kid, you're like, I don't know what this guy's talking about, but I did know that he was teaching me the privilege, the honor to be a caretaker for these amazing parts of American history, or his history, or whoever's history through these vehicles. And that was our, bridge. That was our bonding. He can't talk to an 11-year-old and go, I can give you therapy or fix your problems, but maybe through this car, we can speak something, and you can take that, and use it in your life. And then, I did not come from a household where we had the time or the resources to have hobbies and, invest in these type of cars. It's just a matter of survival at that time. But somehow, and I truly believe this, is that, there is somebody upstairs watching you. And I always just, say, I think, the car gods used cars to always protect me. These were my guardian angels. And
they're a vessel. They're a guiding light.
To the community of people.
100%, right? Yeah.
And somehow I had the opportunity to be a part of this global franchise that is car-centric. And that started to actually give me opportunities to use those lessons that old man taught me. And also understand that, I'm not a race car driver. I'm not a pro drifter. I'm never going to be some master mechanic. But I have this love affair and this connection to these cars. And my approach to these cars is not, they're just an appliance to get me from A to B. There is a soul, and they're going to be representations of the best of me and the best of my community. And then when they're left behind, hopefully, someone or younger generations can look at it and study it. And now we have YouTube and we have these things to kind of keep our archive. And hopefully, what that old man taught me, we can pass and give back, to the next generation. So.
Man, that's awesome. So he really was a mentor for you.
He was,
right?
Yeah. Unknowingly.
That's wild. Are you still? Well, is he still with us?
No, no. We moved away, and and there's no cell phones at the time.
Right.
I'm a little boy. You're like, thanks for the cookies. Right.
But I could tell you care. I mean, obviously, I won't ask, but you know his name, you know his vehicle, you know the year, and there's a lot of memories compartmentalized. That's really cool, man. Yeah. I had a similar experience, and blessed to still have him with us. He's very, very old, but same thing. He speaks to me in terms that aren't always automotive related. They're more life related, because you kind of go, But a week later, I'll go, I'll be. It's all kind of intermixed and intertwined together. That's really cool, man. Okay, so we're going to have a little fun. We're going to take a little break, mostly because my mouth is super dry and I want to laugh a little bit. The Dorman's, what is this called? We're going to do the Dorman Mystery Box. And this is always split a gut because it just really doesn't make sense. I'll just say that. But I'm going to throw a crude cardboard box up here. And I'm going to let you hit me first, actually, just so you can see how this works. We're going to set a box up here. I'm going to turn around or do something. You're going to put a part in it. You can look at it and see what it is. And I can't see it, but I'm going to stick my hands in this box, feel it, roll it around. And I'm going to try to guess what this part is. Okay. And you can give me some hints if you want, or you can just let me suffer. Okay. That's totally fine. Okay. And we'll see if we can figure this out, which I just visited. These guys are...
Where are they?
Where was that, Santa? Philadelphia? Yes. Yeah.
Oh, East Coast.
Philly.
Cool.
Well, they have several buildings, actually. This was one of their smaller, but I had to get around on it in a scooter. I mean, it's massive. They actually scanned my face, so I have a part number now. They have brainiacs that they'll look at let me back up. They actually go to the service installers and say, what are your pains and angst? And I remember one because it was really cool. And I believe it was a Ford, and don't quote me, but there's an oil pan where the service center has been servicing them. The drain plug or the oil itself gets in the way of the cross member. So they 3D scanned and redesigned and moved the drain plug and then reproduce the oil pan as an aftermarket product that you can get at Reilly for that issue. And they make it all in-house right there. Wow. It's wild. It's really cool.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah.
So anyway, here's our professional box.
Okay.
Oh, it is a Dorman box, actually. Wow. I'm going to turn around. Pick whatever one you want.
How are you going to... If you know what this is, I'm
sure I don't. Here's the thing they do to me. What normally happens, they know I'm like, so I like, 1890s to 1970 vehicles. So what they normally do is give me a part to like a 2020 Hyundai or something, right?
Yeah. I think I'm going to give you...
I hear a lot of cardboard. This is making me nervous.
Okay, I'm going to give you this one. Because this might kind of mislead you.
Is it in?
Yes, in.
Okay. There was way too much. It's not a spark plug, I'll tell you that, so I'm in trouble. All right, here I go. No. Well, I can't pull it out because I'll see it. What? Okay, it's some sort of cable or hose.
Okay, I'll give you a hint.
Okay.
It's not for the engine.
Oh, I'm really in trouble. Okay. Some sort of thing. And then we got another thing. And then it's very vulcanized rubber-ish with some sort of clip.
I'll give you another hint.
Okay.
None of those cars that you see back there, those
Ford
classics,
Fairlane, yeah.
will use this part.
Chevy. Okay, so not 50s. I'm really in trouble.
I'd say probably late 70s, 80s.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I should know this. Right angle. This bolts to something, but I can't get this to turn. Do you like Italian food?
Oh, I love.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay. Would you rather a steak or like pasta?
Steak.
Oh, because you're a meat guy.
Yeah.
All right, medium well?
Medium rare.
Medium rare?
Yeah.
Oh,
How about you?
We just became best friends.
Yeah.
Same. I mean, I can't turn down steak. No.
Yeah.
I like steak. I do like teppanyaki, but I would say meat, potatoes, probably some sort of Asian food, right, Shannon? And then we're into Italian, I think. I don't know what this is. I have to give up.
Yeah, it's a tough one. It's the ABS wheel speed sensor,
Oh, yeah.
right?
I don't have disc brakes.
Yeah. At first you go, is this spark plug wire or something like that? But
Oh, so this bolts into the caliper or something, right? Yeah. Shoot. All right.
that's so tough. Like that's
I lost.
Yeah.
All right, you spin around. I'm going to hit you. This one's actually. Okay. Technical difficulty. All right.
Ready?
You ready?
All right. Oh man.
Your first hint is you've felt many of these, but also not looking at it.
Is it brake line? Brake
You're
something?
close. It's a line.
Yeah, I've touched this somewhere.
I know you have. Yeah. Oh, so it
AC line? Is it AC?
close. It transfers fluid. It's not AC. It's not brake.
Oil. No.
Close. It's also flammable.
So it's gas. Is this a gas line?
Gas line.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
There you
Boom.
go. Yeah. Woo!
Fuel injection line. Yeah.
Well, your hints were so. You're just telling me what it is, right? Yeah. Flammable. Oh, okay.
Next one, I'll be a little tougher. I don't even know what this is to. Ejector feed line, a 904 966, of course. Of course, that's what it is. All right, hit me again. Give me another.
Okay.
Do we have two each? We have two each. Okay.
Okay. This.
Hopefully, this is like a window crank to a 70 Chevelle or something.
I think this one is.
We're 1-0 right now.
This
so.
one's harder than the other one.
Is it really?
Yeah,
Oh,
they gave
great.
me like really tough one. Okay, it's here. It's super small. Okay, go ahead.
Well, I appreciate you starting with the easier one, but it's super small. Oh. These guys love doing it. I have absolutely. Why is there two? There's two pieces?
Yeah, I actually don't even know what this is. So, I mean, I have the answer here, but I'm like, I don't even know what that is.
Is this a hearing aid? I mean,
Yeah. I
wait.
can't even give you a hint because I don't know what it is.
great.
Oh, okay, I'll give you a hint.
Okay.
It's the sound you hear. Okay, the name of it
Oh, charades. Okay.
is the sound you hear when someone comes to your door.
Oh, it's a knock sensor.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
my guy.
What is a knock sensor, Derek?
So this detects harmonic frequencies typically, and what this will do is put your engine in the limp mode. So it'll start pulling timing and/or fuel, and modify your tune to try to save your engine from yourself.
Oh,
But I delete these.
You do?
because We just go
Why?
full send.
why?
You go full send.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, like LS, most people like LS engines. Do you have any LS engines?
I have a LS3 in the movie car.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
and the Toyota Corolla.
So I delete these out of the valley there, just so we can get a little bit more horsepower out.
Oh, I see.
But you risk it. You're risking it, you know.
Oh,
Okay, I got a tough one for you.
okay.
I would guess this is part of a football uniform, but you might be able to. Okay, go ahead.
All right.
Watch him get this immediately. It's a big one.
What? It's like a valve cover?
Nailed it.
That?
Wow. Okay, I got my butt kicked. Great job. What's it to, though? Do you know what that's to?
Let's see.
3-cylinder? Is that a Yugo? Looks a little too plasticky for a Yugo.
It's like a twin cam, isn't it? No, maybe. It kind of looks like the Toyota valve cover.
I have no idea.
The Dorman does all OEMs, Japanese.
Yes.
Oh, they do.
Yeah. I wanted to say like a John Deere Gator motor, but I don't know if they do John Deere stuff. Maybe they do.
Do you have the answer to that?
Let's Google it. I've got a guy. Google this part number. Would you please? Whoops. Sorry, Shannon. Just ruined that.
Because it only has 3 spark plugs, right?
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
3-cylinder. All right, Dorman Mystery Box. I got my butt kicked by Sung. Great. Have I ever won one? Do you remember? I've never won one. That's fantastic. Okay. If we ever do like a 40s or 50s, I might redeem myself. So, man, you've been busy. You're obviously all over the place. You're traveling around. Is it in just pure promotion of your new movie you have coming out, or is it just in general? Meet your fans? Both?
I'd say it's both.
Yeah.
I do have to say is that, wherever we go, the shared passion for these cars, I realize that we're all the same. The language, maybe your ideologies or politics or religion might be different, but it's actually, we're all the same people.
Yes.
Right? So
Yeah.
it's this privilege to be able to traveling around, and I don't even. It's hard for me to even call them fans, because that's like, I'm not above anybody.
It's a
like,
community.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And and it's amazing because so often, in Hollywood, like made to feel like you don't belong at this table because maybe of the way you look or whatever your face is, or even your politics or your ideologies. But when you come to a car community, it doesn't matter what you look like, man. As long as you have it here and you're sincere and you're authentic, you're welcome, right? And so, the motivation, the reason we're out there is to also, talk about and share this journey of Drifter. And it's actually as I think about it, it's like, it's my opportunity to always give my gratitude, because this movie, indirectly or directly, every single person in the car community is responsible for this movie. This is made by the car community for the car community.
Yeah.
Derek, every penny of this movie came from the car community. Traditional Hollywood didn't really understand what I was trying to do. And
So it's self-funded. This is
not by me.
Right, but the community,
Yeah,
so I watched the trailer of Drifter today, actually, right before you showed up, and I got to say, man, I am not only intrigued but really impressed. I mean, if Hollywood didn't really have much to do with this, just the production value and the storyline, I want to see this thing. I really want to watch this movie.
Thank you.
And I wanted to ask you, because I saw some, like you said, people in the car community that we know and love are actually in this movie. Mm-hmm. Are they driving and acting and doing all of that?
That's right.
That's great, man. So the drivers in this film are driving.
Yes.
The drivers.
I don't know if you know Brian Scotto, co-founder of Hoonigan with Ken Block.
Yeah.
He directed a lot of the Gymkhana videos with Ken. And, over the years, I've become I'm a fan, right? And when I look at those videos and that work, I tell myself, this is how you capture car action. Because, Brian, he coined this phrase called honest angle in his work, is that, the camera never lies. Like, the viewer today is savvy enough to know if, it's some camera trick or CG or VFX.
Right.
And his work, the ethos is honest angle. So I sought him out. I said, I need to go sit down with this guy, and I need him to work on this movie. And so we met, and he also is, this lover of film as well. And we just bonded in like the type of work with car-centric things that we wanted to put out together. So, that was step one. So the honest angle is, this, ethos that carries over to the whole movie. Every even character, I would meet, I know and I'm friends with these, content makers that are in the car community. But, a lot of people think they're just these YouTubers, but a lot of them are actually trained actors.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Right? Like
wow.
James Pumphrey is like a fully trained actor. Right?
Oh, my goodness.
And so their range in terms of their work is just like anybody else in Hollywood, right? It's just that they're known to be YouTubers. So they're like typecast in a way. So I sought these people out. And also, even Adam LZ, to me, he is a great ambassador for this younger generation to go, hey, this world is accessible to you.
Right, yeah.
When you meet, like a F1 driver or a NASCAR driver, you're like, that's not really for you, kid, because you need a lot of money, right?
Yeah.
Where Adam LZ is like, he's just this skateboarder, this BMXer, right? That's like, hey, I'm going to start, sliding my car around.
Right.
And then
Let's get
he's
some cars,
created
let's
this empire, right, in a way. But what a great ambassador. I go, I need him in our film. So him, Rutledge Wood, I don't know if you have an opportunity to meet him.
Yeah,
great
awesome.
ambassador for the community, just a ray of sunshine. And it's like, I need to have that type of energy. And even down to the crew. Like, the first question is like, what are your relationship with cars? And if they're like, I don't like them, I don't understand them, most likely this movie's not going to work for you, right?
Yeah.
But if it's like, I'm not a mechanic or a pro driver, but I love cars, and this is what I have, and this is what my dad has. It's like, those are the people that that actually came to the movie, and then we were able to create this together.
That's awesome. It sounds like a really honest, forward-facing film where you really get what you see. These are car lovers, they're drivers.
That's right. Yeah.
That's amazing, man. Yeah. Did you film at real competitions, or did you have to like rent tracks, or how did that work? I'm just curious how that works.
Isn't that a beautiful story there? This is how powerful the car community is. I wanted to shoot at a real live event. So my friends at Formula Drift, they opened their arms to me and said, we'll help you make this happen. But, this is a really low budget film. And like, a Brad Pitt F1 movie, they have a studio behind them and they have a whole bunch of money. We do not have that. Mm-hmm. And to shut down a, pro FD event and be able to pay whatever we needed to pay to the cities and stuff like that and the racetracks, like we just couldn't afford it, And so I was like, well, maybe we don't have a final, because in the movie, the final finale is at this pro drift event.
Yeah, big event.
Yeah, at a Coliseum with like thousands of fans. And like, we can't afford any of that. And Adam, this is where Adam came in. He's like, hey, I know you're struggling with this, but, I really feel like you got to keep that scene intact. And he's like, let me help you. And so Adam has a LZ tour where he has these drift tours around the world. And the birthplace of American drifting in the East Coast is at this track called Raceway Park in Englishtown, right? Owned by the Knapp family. I don't know if,
been there, actually, yeah.
And they actually hold Formula Drift, competitions there, but LZ actually grew up at that track, right? So he's like, I hold my event here. You have to come to this track. You have to meet the family. And so we get there, and I was like, wow, this is pretty amazing. And that family's like, whatever you need, we'll support you. And all the drifters came and supported us. They brought their own cars. And then this is where it's crazy. It's like, well, how do we, get the audience in the stands? Yeah. So we created this fake event called Legends of Drift, and we said we're filming a movie, and if you guys want to come and support us and be in the stands, we'll have a little car meet, and you get to kind of see the people drifting around. Yeah. But it's going to be a lot of stop and go because it's a movie, right?
Right.
A Formula Drift event was like 9,300 people. 12,000 people came.
Oh my goodness, it's overwhelming. Us. Yeah.
And we're in the stands with them, like performing, and nobody's there trying to like mess up the shot or cause trouble. They were just there, and so it's like so emotional. Going, I did not know there was so much goodwill.
Right, just full support.
Yeah, they want to support this.
Man, that's beautiful. That's awesome, man. That is really, really awesome. Yeah. So when is this movie coming out, and where can we find it or watch it?
That's a great question. We just recently finished the movie, complete post-production, right? Because again, this is a low budget, so a lot of favors, and with those favors, you probably last in line, right?
Right.
So we're done. Like the movie is locked, it's finished, it's completed. All of it is done, and now we have to take care of the business side. I am very, very adamant about this movie being in theaters because this has to be a shared experience. Mm-hmm. Streaming is wonderful, but this is not, initial streaming movie where someone watches the movie by themselves. Because the story and the theme of the movie is that community with the shared passion will allow you to achieve anything in your life. And so you have to have this community come together. I would love to go on the road again, have these car events, car meet, go watch the movie together.
Nice.
Talk about the film. And again, this is not like a happy ending like Hollywood story. This is
Okay.
a very like real, everyday America. There is no happy ending for a lot of everyday people.
Hard knock
but
life.
it's hopeful.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
hopeful.
Okay.
Right? So, I would, right now we are probably looking at early next year, maybe spring, for it to be in theaters, and because we're being very careful and selective. We have to have the right partners. We can't just throw it in the theaters. This movie was not made to make a profit, like just to go make money. It's a love letter to the community that has been there for my whole life. So it has to be a shared experience.
I love that, man. I like how you're treading and taking it down this path. So obviously we've got to follow you then to kind of keep up with this and watch this develop. So where do folks keep up to date with you on your social handles? Like what's the best way to follow when this is going to be coming out, or what the plan is with this?
Yeah, we have a website, driftermovie.com, and we also have Instagram, driftermovie, TikTok, and I have my Instagram. So that we keep everybody posted. So it's pretty easy to find the info, and when we know, you will know.
Okay,
Right?
there you go. That's what I was looking for. Awesome. I'm actually hooked. I just watched the trailer and I'm like, I gotta watch this. There was a scene of you, I think, rolling a tire down a salvage. I don't want to give too much away.
Junkyard. That's where I live.
That's where you live.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah. So rolling it down, and I'm like, man, I could tell that this is a heartstring movie. You know what I mean? So, speaking of junkyards, which is where I find a lot of my next project cars.
I love junkyards.
What is your next project car?
I have two.
Okay.
Yeah. So
You have them, or are you going to seek them out?
No, they're already in the works.
Okay.
So I'm building these two cars in Japan, and one is that Grand National.
Yeah.
Right. If I go around and I ask like a 12 to 16-year-old, like, what a Grand National is, they might know because of Kendrick Lamar, but if they're not a hip hop fan, they have no idea what that is, and maybe they go, yeah, that looks like my grandma's Cutlass Supreme or something, but like I was like sitting there, the car's just like sitting, right, and like I go this, and my Grand National's name is Buddy, right? And I'm like, hey Buddy, like what do we do? Like how do we teach these kids that you're so awesome? So there's a company called Liberty Walk that is in the zeitgeist of every young like car enthusiast, right, throughout the world, and they make these like crazy body kits, and and they're, it's an acquired taste, but the kids love them, right? And so I know Kato-san, the founder, and we've been looking for a project to do together for years. And I was like, I would love to do this Grand National and build this out here, and infuse the Liberty Walk Japanese sensibility into this American classic.
I love that. That's
right?
cool. Yeah.
And then the kids will go, "What is this car?"
Right.
And even though guys
They've
in our
probably
generation,
never been subjected to it.
they might get pissed, and there might be a lot of old timers getting angry, but at least the car's back in the conversation. Right?
That's the word I was looking for, is if you can make a vehicle a conversation piece, whether people agree or disagree, if you're standing around a car discussing it, we've won in a sense.
That's right.
So that's cool.
Yeah. And the second one is I think this is like my fifth 240Z build, Datsun 240. So there's a company called OS Gaikin, and they're in a small little town. It's like a 6-7 hour drive from Tokyo.
Okay.
And they make LSDs and transmissions. I would say they're this dying company where everything is made by hand in this little factory, probably the size of this building, right? Few employees, right? And this art form this trade, this craft is dying, right? Yeah. And if you talk to guys our age, right? When you say OS Gaikin, they go, this is the best of the best, right? The owner was a race enthusiast, so he made these components because he wanted to make them bigger, stronger, faster, and quality, right? Over quantity. So I've gotten to know them, and the young kids don't know this company, right? But they happen to have a twin cam motor that they make for the Datsun 240Z.
Hand build it right there.
Yeah, hand built, right? They take a diesel block, and then from a 240 or like a 260 or a 240 diesel block, and they basically have this whole twin cam motor that's hand built by one person, right?
Wow.
And they also even make a sequential transmission now, right? So,
Okay. Wow.
So I have this 240Z, and this is another beautiful story. Is that I was not in the market for no 240, but I'm in the evening to relax. I go through Facebook Marketplace.
As we all do.
Yeah, right.
As we all do.
And bring a trailer, and I see this orange 240Z for sale for a pretty modest price. And I go through the pictures, and it's like no rust, all original. Stereo sitting there, the dash isn't cracked, all the original seats, California blue plates. And so I go and meet the owner, and he's like, yeah, I bought this to actually make a replica of one of your cars, right? He's like, but I realize that's just not going to happen, and I don't have time. It's like, I would love to, sell it to you. So it's very patina. And this is the crazy story, is that the license plate frame says Woodland Hills Datsun. And this is a dealership that doesn't exist, but that dealership was 5 minutes from where I live now.
Oh, really?
So the car came all the way home.
Full circle.
Yeah.
Wow.
Right?
That's wild.
Yeah, so, and it's like unmolested, like perfect car. So, still with the SU carbs and everything. So, we got it running. So I was dailying it every day. And then I was like, I'm going to leave this car exactly the way it is. And I named it Wabi Sabi. And Wabi Sabi in Japanese means finding perfection in imperfection.
Oh, nice.
Right?
Yeah.
Like patina and, the aging of a car to me now as I get older is beautiful. Like, why mess with it? Maybe just put a little clear coat on it so it doesn't rust, and you just leave it alone, right?
Is it Wabi Sabi?
Wabi Sabi.
I love that.
Right? But when I went and visited OS Geiken, I was like, oh, they are holding on to this like old way of creating these parts and creating these motors. And for any Datsun lover, their TC24 twin cam motor is like the holy grail of motors, because this is what everybody wanted, right? And the 432 Datsun had a twin cam motor, but it's like it was their race car edition, right? The R was super rare. So all the 240s were just these, L24, L26, L28 swaps with, so 240Z came with the 24, 260 with the L26. So a lot of people swapped the L28 into it. But if you want that, extra
little extra
juice, right?
Yeah.
You want this twin cam motor. So, you can't get it. And about 11 years ago, I actually approached them and said, I would love to buy a motor and put it into, my first Datsun 240 build. And they basically told me, it's like, you don't know enough about, these cars yet. We don't know you. And I was like, whoa.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It's like, we don't just sell these motors. Like, these motors are in our family forever. So even if you buy them, we stay in touch, so we can always be there for
a literal heart.
Yeah.
It's a heart
So
for
there's
a car.
not a lot of these motors, and there's none in the United States. Zero.
Wow.
Right.
Okay.
So they tried to bring one in, and something just didn't work out with whoever owned the car. And then, so they basically interviewed me. The whole company met me, and they're like, why are you doing this? You're going to sell it? What are you going to do? It's like, no, I just want to share this with America.
Yeah.
Like, there's so many people that are just like enthusiastic about what you guys created, but we don't have it. And then I told them about the Wabi Sabi. Like, this is my idea. So everything on the outside and the interior is like the way it was. But when you open that hood, right, and you look under that car, it's like, oh, what is this, right? And so that's the second build. So I'll be going to Japan and, trying to learn and assist and, make people coffee or whatever I can do to just absorb, right? So,
Man, I am jealous. Those are two awesome sounding rigs. I love the patina too, because again, patina tells a story. Dents, scratches, everything like that. Do we have an update on the intake?
the valve cover, you mean?
Infinity Q50.
This?
Is that one of the Starbucks cars? Like the SUV thing?
EQ35, 350Z.
Cute. What? This?
BQ.
Oh, it's a 350Z. Of course.
350Z motor from the Nissan. This is? Oh, okay.
So it's not a 3-cylinder,
Oh,
it's a 6-cylinder.
Oh. That's a trick.
Now we know. There should have been two.
Oh, they just well yeah. That's
There should have been
yeah.
two.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, listen, man, this has been a lot of fun, and we actually have a lot in common. We could sit here and probably chat all day, but you have like 11 million fans waiting for you outside, and I have a car to finish building by 5 p.m.
What are you building?
64 Galaxy 500.
Oh, sweet.
Sat off the road for 30 years, and I had a numbskull idea to try to revive it here live in 3 days.
3 days.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you got to get to work.
It's running.
That's why I was like, why is his nail so dirty?
Yeah, I've been wrenching.
Wrenching.
Well, thanks again, man. It's
All right,
been a
Derek.
pleasure.
Yeah, real pleasure.
Yeah, it's been so awesome.
Thank you.
And be sure to follow him, all the socials, the website, he said. You've got to see this movie, Drifter. I know I will be there in theaters. You guys should be there too. And that's it for this episode of In the Aisles, presented by O'Reilly Auto Parts. We'll see you next time. We got stuff to do. Bye.
Bye. Thanks, Derek.